Let's move in to the news right now. All right, let's get into some heckin' news. Quite a few things happen here going into the final week of spring training as we get ready. News. I'm going to try to develop my skill at getting quickly through these things and just hitting them. All right?
Let's get into the news.
Let's talk a little bit about Paul Skenes. Paul Skenes shoves every single time he pitches, and last night was more of the same. He worked 7 2/3 innings against the Philadelphia Phillies. He gave up one unearned run on 2 hits, 7 strikeouts, and 1 walk. He was pulled in the 8th, and the game was tied. So another no decision for the best pitcher on the planet. I know I keep flip-flopping between him and Tarek Skubal, but it's a great place to be. All right, Skenes remained 4-6 in his sophomore season, even though he has a 1.88 ERA. Yikes. And he is second best in the National League behind Kodai Senga of the New York Mets. Another one of my pitchers to watch. He threw 97 pitches, was very economical, struck out 7, wasn't super worried about striking everybody out, and did what he always does. But prayer hands in the chat everywhere because it is so sad that Paul Skenes isn't getting more run support because we want to see a really good Paul Skenes. But we've had guys win the Cy Young with less wins than losses, so why not this year? Speaking of big, strong dudes who were just in college, Jac Caglianone went 4 for 4 on Sunday, helping Kansas City Royals to a 7-5 victory over the Chicago White Sox. The perfect afternoon at the plate arrived after he went 2 for 21 in his first 5 games in the major leagues. Much needed out of Jac Caglianone. And he doubled in the 4th on a 114-mile-per-hour double into the gap, which is premium Jac outcomes. So he's electric. He is massive. And I predict very good things for Jac Caglianone moving forward. Speaking of a guy performing well or needing to perform well, George Kirby made a huge bounce back from his lackluster first few outings back from the IL, dominating the Los Angeles Angels in a 3-2 Mariners victory, racking up a career-high 14 strikeouts without walking a batter over 7 innings in a 2-hit, 2-run ball. Basically just used his fastball and his slider and absolutely dominated the Angels. Now, we could take that with a little bit of grain of salt with the Angels, but I'm not supposed to be biased, so I'm going to reel that back in. He matches Max Meyer with the 14 strikeouts for the most in any game this season, and he looked really good, and the Mariners definitely needed it. He dropped his ERA from an 8.56 to a 6.53, while looking more like the George Kirby of old. Hopefully for Mariners fans, myself included, I hope we see more of this moving forward. In not so great news, the Braves be scuffling once again. Mike Yastrzemski rove in 3 runs as the San Francisco Giants extended their winning streak to 5 games as they swept the Braves at home. The Braves have now lost 14 of its last 17 games and have fallen to 27-37 in the NL East. Now we are only 60-something games into the season, so would not hold your breath that the Braves are going to constantly be in the 4th place in that division. I have myself seen it in person. I will never believe that the Braves are not on their way back because I have trauma. Okay? So, but things have not been good. Spencer Strider still looking to come back to form after having Tommy John surgery, to picking up the loss in last night's game. And one positive note, though, in those 17 games, they've only been outscored by 8 runs, which is odd, which is an odd thing. Imagine only being -8 in run differential, but being 3-14 in record. That means it's probably not sustainable. So keep your heads up, Braves fans. And more Braves news, though. Craig Kimbrell was called up, and I was super excited. Craig Kimbrell getting called up by the team that he has amassed a lot of his stats for, and he is a Georgia boy pitching for his hometown team. And then he subsequently, immediately, DFA'd after throwing 1 scoreless inning, walking 1, and I believe he struck out 1, walked 1, and gave up 1 hit in a scoreless 7th inning. And then was DFA'd directly after. Now he signed this March to a minor league deal and was sent to Gwinnett, held on for his opportunity to get the big leagues, and went up for 1 day. Now, this is an odd situation and not something that usually happens, especially for a guy who's very clearly going to be a Braves Hall of Famer at some point. Usually you don't call a guy up knowing that you're going to DFA him after he throws 1 inning if he is that level of guy. You usually call up somebody else and you wait for a spot to open up long-term for Craig Kimbrell. So that kind of it felt weird to me. That felt weird to me. That's usually not how these things are handled. However, like I mentioned, he is a Georgia guy. Maybe, just maybe, he's cool with it. He wanted an opportunity to go pitch for him, and he just wants to be close to home when he's continuing to play baseball here in the twilight years of his career, which I respect wholeheartedly. So I don't know all the situations, but I just want all the details. But I just want to kind of give the context that usually for a guy of that stature, this is not the way that calling them up is handled. So I got a little bit taken aback by that. Today's episode of the Mayday Podcast is brought to you by Huel. Huel is a delicious protein shake for those people that are on the go. Just add water and move forward with your life. Try Huel with 15% off for new customers today using code FOUL at Huel.com/foul. Fuel your best performance with Huel today. Nailed it. Our final piece of news, because we didn't talk about Roman Anthony, so we're going to talk about him in a moment. We're going to talk about the Red Sox. Okay? First piece, Mr. Hunter Dobbins said before his start last night that if it came down between the Yankees and every other team, and the Yankees were the only ones that offered him a contract at any point, he would just retire. Dang. I like the fire there. Jazz Chisholm then took to X to say, hey, I think that we need more trash talk in the MLB. If you want the smoke, you'll have it at 7. Kind of playing up with that a little bit. I'm a big fan of Jazz and the way he approaches this stuff. He's having a lot of fun and he's unapologetic about it. But I also like that Dobbins is like, you know what, I'm going to throw that out there and make this a little spicy. Spicy it was. The Red Sox end up taking the game 10-7, and Dobbins ends up taking the W. Now, did he give a homer to Aaron Judge? Sure. Were there a lot of homers hitting the game? Absolutely. Was it a little bit of a slugfest? Yes. But I respect the hell out of that. But more positive news. Don't have a picture for this, but you guys know who it is. Marcelo Meyer. Oh, sorry, not Marcelo Meyer. He's already up. Roman Anthony, big leaguer. He is in. He is up, and he is hitting, as per Ken Rosenthal, batting 5th tonight because he can hit the ball 500 feet. I don't know if you heard about that, but a couple days ago, that is what he did. I am excited to see what he does and see if this whole thing, the clamoring, is worth it. Now, I hope he doesn't feel like he's got to do everything right out the gate. Hitting is not the thing that they are struggling with the most. It is definitely out in the field and on the pitching side of things, but I think the game is better off when the number one prospect is in the big leagues. And that was today's news.